今天是2025年10月24日，来看新闻。美国将对中国履行2020年贸易协议情况启动调查。那据2位知情人士透露说，特朗普计划对中国未能履行他第一任期内签署的一个贸易协议条款发起贸易调查。那此举导致说美国对中国加征更多关税，然后进一步加剧两国的紧张关系。该调查最早可能会在今天就宣布，然后将由美国贸易代表办公室依据1974年贸易法的第301条款发起。那该条款允许美国政府调查其他国家的贸易行为是否对美国造成损害。但是历史上这一类调查通常需要数月时间才能发布。2022年发布的数据显示，中国在采购美国飞机、大豆、龙岩、服务以及其他产品方面，未能达到承诺的目标。那就此的话，美国贸易代表办公室的一个发言人是拒绝就此评论。那在中美高层会晤前数日，那启动该调查就会凸显两国席卷贸易战的所涉及的一个经济的一个巨大利益。特朗普在重返白宫后，对中国的一个进口商品税加征了55%，然后加上其第一任期内实施的关税政策，部分商品的税率是远高于此。那中国政府则采取反制措施，对美国大豆等产品加征关税，导致说美国的一个农民遭受损失。此后的话进一步升级，中国提出了一套全面的稀土管控体系。那特朗普的回应则是在11月1日之后，会对中国产品额外增加100%的关税，并对美国的一个软件实施出口限制。那特朗普与习近平定于在下周四，在韩国举行那个国际会议期间相互面谈。那分析人士认为，两国领导人还是可能借此机会来努力稳定双边关系。那周三的话，美国财政部长贝森特和美国贸易代表格里尔就已经飞往马来西亚，与中国的国务院副总理何立峰举行会谈。那这些会谈会为特朗普与习近平的会面奠定基础。格里尔在接受 CNBC 的采访时候表示说，他和贝森特将与中国会面，然后试图探寻在某些棘手的问题上取得进展的可能性。那他认为根源问题在中国对稀土采取的一个新措施，他认为这些措施是极其激进，然后与美国及其盟友针对中国采取的任何行动都完全不对等。此外的话，说这个启动贸易调查，会考虑到说，如果说最高法院推翻特朗普政府此前对中国实施的其他关税，那这个贸易调查的话，也可能在未来的一个数月继续向北京施压，提供途径。最高院会在下月聆讯审理一起针对特朗普依据国家紧急状态法实施的关税的案件。那这个是包含针对中国进出口商品的关税。那该诉讼不会影响依据第301条实施的任何关税。那特朗普政府是一再抱怨中国未能遵守2020年签署的一个贸易协议。该协议是在双方数月谈判及相互加征高额关税后达成的。根据协议的话，中国官员承诺会额外采购价值2000亿美元的美国商品和服务，包括天然气、大豆和飞机。中方还同意向美国企业开放市场，并加强对美国技术和商业秘密的保护。但协议签署后，其实正值那个疫情爆发， 贸易活动就大幅萎缩，所以说这是中国远未能实现其承诺目标的原因之一，因为中国最终仅采购了其承诺数量的58%。那之前的一个，特朗普政府的话，就是指证拜登政府就是未能迫使中国履行协议条款，但是许多分析师表示说，这些目标它从一开始就不切实际，这是中国未能按计划履行承诺的一个，其实就是高级分析研究员他说了说，中国就是从未按计划履行其采购承诺。那么也有一些分析人士质疑说，在已有的多项关税威胁的情况下，特朗普政府的进一步加征关税究竟能取得多大成效？美国的这起贸易案件将聚焦中国近期减少大豆和其他农产品的采购行为，这些是特朗普第一任期内采购承诺的主要内容。但他指出了一个颇具讽刺意义的事实，说中方表示，减少大豆采购是因为特朗普的关税政策，该政策使得中国对美国大豆及其产品加征了反制关税。由于采购减少，在一定程度上是关税升级的结果，因此尚不清楚提高关税的威胁能否解决这一问题。派什是这样说的。那显而易见嘛，那肯定是不能啊，这就有点像是到底是鸡生蛋还是蛋生鸡？就是你看加了关税，那么采购量减少了，你又不开心。可是，没办法两全其美的。好的，一起读一下新闻原文。U.S. will investigate China's compliance with 2020 trade deal. The Trump administration plans to fire a trade investigation into China's failure to uphold the terms of a trade deal signed in President Trump's first term, according to two people familiar with the investigation. The move could result in some tariffs and risk increasing tensions between the United States and China. It will follow with strained relations between the world's two largest economies and could be an effort by the United States to try to amass leverage before a meeting last week between Mr. Trump and Xi Jinping, China's leader. The investigation, which could be announced as soon as Friday, would be fired by the Office of the United States Trade Representative under Section 301 of the Trade Act of 1974. That section allows the administration to investigate whether the trade practice of other countries are harming the United States. The inquiry paved the way for more tariffs on Chinese imports, although no such decision has been made. Such investigations have historically taken months to complete. Data released in 2022 showed that China had fallen for short of commitments it made to buy American airplanes, soybeans, energy services, and other products. A spokeswoman for the Office of the United States Trade Representative declined to comment. The decision to initiate the case just days before high-level meetings between the United States and China underscore the economic state of a trade war that has consumed both countries and could be devastating for business on each side. Since returning to the White House, Mr. Trump has added a $55 tariff on Chinese imports, despite on some goods are much higher as a result of the tariff the president imposed during his first term. The Chinese government has responded with tariffs on American products, including soybeans, resulting in a loss of business for U.S. farmers. China has since raised the stakes, issuing an expensive system to control global trade in products that contain even small amounts of Chinese-produced rare earth minerals. Mr. Trump responded by threatening an additional 100% tariff on Chinese products starting November 1, as well as export restrictions on American software. Mr. Trump and Mr. Xi are scheduled to talk in person next Thursday on the sidelines of the international meeting in South Korea, where analysts believe the leader could try to stabilize the relationship. On Wednesday, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Jamieson Greer, the U.S. Trade Representative, fly to Malaysia to hold talks with China Vice Premier He Feng. Those talks were expected to set the table for the meeting between Mr. Trump and Mr. Xi. Mr. Greer said on CNBC on Wednesday that he and Mr. Bessent would meet with the Chinese to try to see if there's room to move forward on some of these really difficult issues that have come up due to some new Chinese measures on rare earth. He called those measures incredibly aggressive and totally disproportionate to any action that the United States or its allies have taken against China. The trade case could also provide the Trump administration with a way to keep pressure on Beijing in the coming months if the Supreme Court strikes down other tariffs the president had issued on China. The Supreme Court is set to hear arguments next month in a case against the tariffs that Mr. Trump imposed under a national energy law, including many of Chinese imports. That court case would not affect any tariffs issued under Section 301. It remains to be seen if the new trade case will prove to be a source of leverage against Beijing or strengthen trade ties further. The Trump administration has repeatedly complained about China's failure to comply with terms of a trade agreement signed in 2020, which followed months of negotiation and hefty tariffs imposed by the United States and China on each other's products. In a deal, Chinese officials committed to buying an additional $2,000 billion worth of the American goods and services, including natural gas, soybeans, and airplanes. They also agreed to open markets to American companies and provide greater protection for American technology and trade secrets, among other terms. But after the deal was signed, the COVID-19 pandemic hit and trade cratered. The analysis found that China has fallen far short of meeting its commitments. The Peterson Institute for International Economy calculated that in the end, China had bought only 58% of the American exports it had committed to buy, even enough to reach its import levels from before the trade war. Michael Wilson, a former commissioner on the U.S. China Economy Security Review Commission, called China's impact on American producer and worker devastating. He said that the promises made in the past have not been kept, and China needs to be held accountable. The Trump administration has blamed the Biden administration for failing to hold China to the terms of the agreement, but many analysts said the targets were unrealistic to begin with. China was never on pace to meet its purchase commitments, wrote Charles Brown, a senior fellow at the Peterson Institute, who did the analysis and later served an officer under the Biden administration. Some analysts had questioned how far more Davis can get the Trump administration, with so many tariff threats already on the table. Greta Patrick, a lawyer at Wiley Rein and a former U.S. trade official, said the U.S. trade case would put the spotlight on China's recent pullback of purchase of soybeans and other agricultural products, which were a major part of purchasing commitments in the first term. But she pointed to a certain irony. The Chinese have said their falling soybean purchase were due to Mr. Trump's tariffs, which prompted China to respond with levies of its own on U.S. soybeans and other products. Because the pullback on purchase was a result of tariff escalations in part, it isn't clear that a threat of a higher tariff is going to resolve that issue. Mr. Patch said, thanks for listening and hoping your life will with happiness and joy granted your day.